Hello, everybody. Welcome to my studio here in Ithaca, New York. The focus of this presentation is a small fishing village in Maine called Corea, Maine, not to be confused with the country of Korea. It's spelled with a C, C-O-R-E-A. I think it's an Italian name. And it's just on the north side of the Scudic Peninsula, north of Bar Harbor. And we discovered it a number of years ago, and I've been painting there periodically. And if you come around here, I'll show you what I'm doing. Oftentimes in these videos, I share the final stages. This is the beginning stage, the drawing stage, and it's rather an elaborate drawing. I still have quite a ways to go. It's still in the rough-in stage, and it has a lot of drawing to it. And it depicts a dock scene, and I'll go into it more deeply. But first, this is another painting of Korea, and this was actually done plein air, or at least started plein air. I was sitting right on a dock on an October afternoon, painting the sunset of the bay at low tide. And the one that I'm painting on today, I'm sitting right about over here someplace on one of these docks, looking back this way. And so there's one of the other versions of Korea, and this one down here is another plein air version of Korea that I did a few years ago. In fact, it's the lead-in image on my YouTube page, so it's the first one that you see on my YouTube page, and I'm going to show you another one that's on my website. If you come in here to my iPad, it's a little out of focus, but this is a large painting. It's 40 by 44, and it's been sold into a private collection through the Argosy Gallery in Bar Harbor. And it has a similar theme to the one that I'm painting here now. It's a large landscape, but it's called Conversation on the Dock because it has those two men that were actually there. And now if you go back out and come up here to this one, I've included two other men, but I've used them from another photograph that I took, and it had a similar kind of lighting. It was done actually early in the morning at another place in Maine, but this guy had a wonderful white beard. It's going to be great fun to paint. And the light on this other image was coming also from a similar direction, from right to left. And I'm sort of inventing them. I'm just loosely basing it on them. But I liked the inclusion of the men. It kind of makes it into a genre scene rather than just a landscape. And it's going to have some wonderful light on it. There's a barrel here. It's going to have a real bright note of blue. And another thing I like about the inclusion of the two figures is that it provides a human element into this otherwise kind of geometric and landscape, and kind of a stopping point. And what I mention in a lot of my videos is determining where the eye level is. So I'm about the same height of these guys. So the vanishing point is probably right about there, and you can see it from these two boxes sort of roughly pointing towards it. And the other thing I decide first is where the eye level is going to be on the canvas. That's the creative part of putting the eye level down, is finding it where it is on the scene that you're painting, but the creative part is where it's going to be on the canvas. And so as I work here now, I'm working both generally in light and dark. The first thing that I did was applied the light. I wanted to establish the light. That was sort of the main thing that attracted me to the scene, is this raking angle of light, which is going across the floorboards of the dock here. So that's interesting to me. And one of the more complex parts of this image were these fishing objects, which I'm not sure what they are, but they must have something to do with lobster fishing. And they've been very kind of complex. It's taken a long time to draw them. And one of my things that I use with drawing is always comparing horizontal and vertical plumb lines. For example, seeing how things line up horizontally, that where the tops of these objects were, these fishing devices. They're not all uniform heights, so there's a lot of different heights in them, some from being closer and further back. So that's something that I use all the time is vertical plumb lines. See how things, here's a vertical one here, see where the edge of this bank is compared to the vertical of the post. So that's one of my ideas for a drawing, which I find very useful. And I've invented some clouds here, and I haven't started with them yet, but I have an idea that I've created this layer. It's going to have a layer of dark down here, and then up here will be a layer of lighter clouds here. And this is the way I start them. It's going to be consistent with the light direction coming from left to right, and so that's part of the fun of it, is creating the light and the volumetric aspects of the clouds, and to have them also have a certain sense of rhythm and placement. So that's the way I would begin. I'd probably use a larger brush to start, using my adage of use the largest brush you can for as long as you can. So I'm switching to a number, what is this number? Number 8. It's a number 8 round brush, and I'm using a warm color, a little bit of Naples yellow and a little bit of white to start to block the clouds in. And a note about my undertone here. It's I've got about 5 coats of gesso on this piece of masonite, and I've toned it with a color that's kind of a salmon color, kind of a low chroma, pinkish color, and made through a variety of acrylic colors. And another thing I'll point out here is the difference between this panel, which is just a panel, and this one here has linen glued to it, and it also has about 5 coats of gesso on it. So there's advantages and disadvantages to each, whether you want a smooth surface. Some painters paint exclusively on just a panel, and I often, or most of the time, I paint on panels that have linen. That's the way this one is. It has a piece of linen that's been glued to it. And but if you do paint on panel, you have to sand it, because the masonite, when it comes from the factory, it has a sizing, an oil sizing, so you have to remove that so the gesso will stick to it. So this is my drawing stage. And sometimes people, when I do demonstrations, somebody said, well, why don't you just go into the painting, have your drawing done ahead of time? And there's a lot of creative part in the drawing. That's why when I do a demonstration at an art club or a gallery, I do the drawing stage, because that's really where the creative and the conceptual and design aspects of creating a painting come in. So rather than just going into the painting, that's why I like to include the drawing in my demonstrations. So this one's coming along, and it's an elaborate one. It's going to take me who knows how long, but longer than my plein air paintings, that's for sure. Okay, and my paintings of Maine are shown at the Argosy Gallery in Bar Harbor, and also here at the North Star Art Gallery in Ithaca, New York. So thanks so much for your attention, and stop into the gallery sometime. Okay, cheers.